Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you for stopping by today for another tutorial. If this is your first time of stopping by my channel, you're highly welcome, and if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. And today's tutorial, I'll be drafting this beautiful top you see on the thumbnail. This is a requested video by one of my for subscribers, and I will be drafting this on a pattern paper, and then on another video I will show you how to join them together. Okay, so without further talking or rambling from me, let's get into the tutorial. Okay, so now the first thing that you're going to do is get your basic bodice pattern. I have a tutorial on how to draft and cut a basic pattern on my channel. I will leave the link in the description box so you can watch that if you haven't already done so. So this is my basic bodice pattern, and the lines that I have here is my bust point, my under bust measurement, my waist measurement, and then this is the ½ inch seam allowance. So you're going to take your measurements, your exact measurements on your body, and those are the measurements that you place here. I'm going to draft the armhole princess dots on this style. If you look closely at the style, you notice that it has the armhole princess dot bustier. I also have tutorial on how to draft that on my channel. You can watch that in detail as well. So I'm going to begin by marking my bust point, my nipple to nipple measurement, which is right here. My nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches. That's the distance from one nipple to the other. That's 8 inches. So that's the line that I have here. So I divided the 8 inches by 2 inches plus ½ inch seam allowance, and I have 4½ inches. So this is the line here, and I drew it all the way to the waistline. So after you've gotten that, the next thing is to measure around your armhole. You measure what you have for the armhole from here. You can put your tape measure like this. You just go around, keep going around until you get what you have. So for me, I have 10 inches. So I am going to find the middle of the 10 inches. My armhole right here is 5 inches. So I'll mark the 5 inches here, and then I'll connect that line down to this bust point line. You can use your so that's the measurement. So now on this line, once you create that line, I will take out ½ inch up. I will go up by ½ inch, and then I will come down by I will do ½ inch as well here. So then I have ½ inch here and ½ inch here. Then on this bust point line, I am going to go up by ½ inch. Some people go by 1 inch. It depends on you, but I would go by ½ inch. And I'm also going to come down here for the under bust dots. I'm going to come down again by ½ inch. And then after that, you use your ruler and connect those lines to meet the bust point line. So I can just go like this, connect that here, and then I connect this one as well to this line, and that's that. And then on my under bust line, I am going to take out the dots. So in order to get the dots that you want here, you're going to minus your under bust circumference from your bust circumference, and then whatever measurement that you get, that's the measurement you use to create your dot over here. So for me, my bust measurement is 38 inches, and then my under bust measurement is 36 inches. If you minus the 38 from 36 inches, that gives you 2 inches. So I am going to be dividing that 2 inches between these lines to create my bust, my under bust dots. Okay, so I place my ruler like this. I'm going to mark out 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on this side. So it depends. Some people prefer to just do the 2 inches on this side to lift the bust more. So depends on what you're going for, you can do that, but I'm going to share it in between these two. So after that, I'm going to use my ruler to connect the lines. I connect the line there, so then you can draw the line straight to the waist measurement. So this is what you have, and then you can use you can just curve make a curve, make sure that it's perfectly curved. Okay, you don't want any sharp lines. So this is what you have, and basically we've created the princess armhole, the armhole princess dot, and this is what it is. So now I'm going to continue with the rest of my measurements. So now we have taken away our 1 inch at that, and then it's going to shorten the armhole. So I'm going to add it back. So you come on this bottom line and you're gonna go up by 1 inch. And that's my 1 inch right here. So I'll draw that line there to meet that. And then I'll connect it back to the armhole. So it's very important that you do this, because if you don't, you will have a shortage when you cut the dots out, and when it's time to, you know, add it back to add the when it's time to sew your outfits together, you're gonna have a shortage if you don't add that there. So on here we took out our 2 inches dot, and I'm going to add it back. So this is my waist measurement. My waist measurement is at 34 inches, and I divide that by 4. I have 8.5, which is what I have here. So now we're taking out the 2 inches from here. So I'll add that 2 inches back. So I have my 8.5 here, and then I have 1, 2, and this is my, I add back the 2 inches, and then I'm going to add, I'll also add 1, 2, 2.5 inches for my seam allowance. Okay, you can do 3, it depends on you, but it's better to have more allowance than to have less. And then I'm just gonna lay the lines. I'll do the same here on the bust point, on the bust. So my bust measurement is 38 inches. I divide that by 4. I have 9.5 inches. That's what I have here. So I'm going to add 2.5 inches as well. And I'll mark the same here. Then I'm going to connect the lines. Alright, so that's that for the princess dots. Okay, so now on the style, we're going to now work on the neckline. If you look at the style, it has an asymmetric neckline. I also have a tutorial on how to draft an asymmetric neckline, which is under the different neckline design, so you can watch that as well. So that's why it's so important when you're doing these pattern drafting. You never know what style you can use all your patterns to create in the future. So now we're going to draft the asymmetric neckline. So I'm going to open up my pattern paper like this, so I can, you know, mirror the same measurements on the other side. So right here, I'm just going to extend this line. I'll extend this line. This is my shoulder line. Okay, and right here, what I have here is from the center front, I have 3 inches, so I'm going to place the same 3 inches here just to mark out my neckline. This is just a guide. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and connect them together. So once I connect it together, I have something like this. So you don't necessarily need to draw everything, you know, but if you're going to be confused, you can go ahead and mark out everything. Okay, so I'm going to mark this down. All right, so now our neckline is going to change, like I said. So what I'm going to do, I have 3 inches here, but I'm going to increase that by, I'm going to do on this side, I will do 2.5 inches. You can do 2 inches if you want, and then on this side I am going to do 2 inches. I will do 2 inches on this side. So on that line, once you mark the 2 inches, you're going to come down by, depending on how deep you want your neckline to be. So, but for me, I am going to use, I will do 5.5 inches, which is right here. So I'm going to connect these lines together. So I'll connect the lines together like this. So once you connect it together, I'll now connect this line to meet this line. But I like to do it with my French curve. I like to connect it with my French curve so it can create sort of, you know, it can create some kind of a curve rather than having a sharp line. But you cannot totally do sharp line if that's what you want, but I like to create mine this way. So that's basically it. I've created my asymmetric neckline, and this is what it is. Okay, and so now I'm going to close this back. So once you finish, you have something like this. So I'm not going to cut it out yet because I want to match it up with my back bodice before I cut it out. You know, now the neckline for the back is going to be extended as well. So this is my back bodice. I have my zip, 2 inches zipper allowance, and I have my dot. I'm just going to use a waist dot for the back portion of the dress, of the blouse rather. So this is the back. So all these are detailed in the basic bodice tutorial. And also, if you want to create a princess dart for the back as well, you can do that. You do the same like we did for the front. You just come here, measure what you have for the armhole, and this 5 inches. You're going to get, 10 inches, and then you have you divide that into 2, and that gives you 5. You mark it here, and you just use your ruler or you use your hand and draw it and connect it there, and that's just it for that. All right, but I'm not going to use princess dart on the back. I'll just leave it as is. So what I have to do, like I was telling you, you come here, you measure whatever measurement I have on this side, and then I'm going to mark it here. I'll mark it here as well. I have 2.5 inches. And then for this side, I've got 2 inches, and that's what I'm going to mark here. You mark the 2 inches on this side as well. you have it there, so that when you cut it, it's going to match up with the it's going to match up with this one. Okay, all right. So and then that's basically it, and now we're going to cut out the pattern. Okay, so once you finish cutting it out, you have something like this. So this is my princess dots bustier with asymmetric neckline. Let's use this to hold that. Now we will join it. You have something like this. Okay. All right, and then I'm just going to cut out the back. So for the back, you don't need to cut out the dots, because you sew the dots on the you sew the dots on your outfit. So what you're going to do is just cut it out regular. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, now so I cut out the back. So this is the back of this with my zipper allowance. I'm going to just fold this zipper allowance so you guys can see. And this is the front. Okay, so now this is the front. You place the front. As you can see, the neck of the shoulders are matching. Now you're gonna place this like this before you sew them. So that's how you draft the pattern. And I will cut this out on my fabric in my next tutorial, so we can also and join them together. All right, so this is the upper portion of the style, like I showed, like you've seen in the thumbnail. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut out the bottom part of the blouse. So I'm going to put this aside now. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to draft the peplum. So when you're drafting the peplum, you can decide to make it as full as you want or as less full as you want. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to be using the 720 degree peplum. That's basically having two, because the normal peplum is usually 360 degree peplum, or 120 or 180, you know, depending on how full you want it. So the 720 is just basically two of 360 degrees peplum. Okay, so these are the calculations that you're going to need in order to draft that. So you're going to divide your waist measurement by 2, and then what you have is here. So my waist measurement is 34. I divide that by 2. I've got 17. Now we're going to find the radius of this 17. Okay, so in order to calculate the radius, you're going to have the circumference divided by 2 pi. So that's going to be 17 divided by 2 times 2 multiplied by 3.14, or you can simply do 17 divided by 6.28, which is here. And then after calculating it, this is what I have. I have 2.70 and other numbers, but I'm going to approximate mine to 2.71. Okay, so that's the calculation to get your radius. All right, so now I have, let's assume this is my fabric. I'm going to have it like this. You fold it once, and then you fold it again. So you're going to have it into 4 places. So now the measurement of the length of the peplum that I'm going to use is 8 inches plus 1 inch for seam allowance, so that's 9 inches. So once you fold your fabric, you have this. You come on this corner and measure the radius, which is that 2.71. This is 2.5 here, and this is my 2.71 in between here. And that's the measurement I'm going to mark all around here. My 2.71 here, and then I'm just going to make a semicircle. And then from there, I'm going to measure the length of my peplum. So you decide your length of your peplum, keeping in mind that the upper portion that you cut out, the half length that you cut out that you'll be joining, they keep in mind with that, and then make sure you have the correct measurement that you want. Like for me, I already have my half length is 16 inches, and I added half an inch to that, and that's what I'm going to use to join it. 16. So if I have 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, which is the length of my blouse, and I'll add 1 inch for seam allowance, which is 9 inches. So this is what I'm going to mark all around. And after marking that, you simply connect these together. And then we're just going to cut this out. Alright, so once you cut it out, you have something like this. Okay, so this already formed part of the peplum. So instead of me using only this, I'll be using 2 of this when I'm ready to cut this on my fabric. All right, because you're simply going to open one portion of this circle, and then you join another part of this circle in order to form the 720 degrees peplum. So you're basically going to be cutting 2 of this. So you cut 2, and that will, so basically this one is 360 degrees, and then you cut another one to make 720 degrees of peplum. All right, so when I'm ready to cut it on my fabric, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. But that's basically how you cut out the 720 degree peplum, following the calculations that I've given you, and then you'll be cutting 2 of that. Oh, this has come to an end of this tutorial. I hope it has been helpful. If it has, please give me a thumbs up, like, comment, and ask your questions, whatever question you're you don't understand, ask it in the comment section below, and I'll be more than happy to walk you through it. Okay, so like I said, in my upcoming video, I am going to show you guys how to join the pattern that we just created, how to join them all together. Okay, I hope you stay tuned for that. So if you're new and you haven't already subscribed, please do the needful, subscribe and become part of the family. Also share my videos, and I will see you on my next video. Meanwhile, stay your beautiful self, and bye for now.